Off.
Yes, I'm ready
Yes,
to kick
thank you
off.
so much. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Trust you had an
afternoon.
amazing week.
Yes, I do. And you?
I did same here. Thank you. We look forward to an even more exciting experience or session with you
Okay.
today. Thank you so much. The
Okay.
floor is yours.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's
Yeah,
talk.
good afternoon, Mr. Ajala. Good afternoon.
Good
It's
afternoon.
good
Good
to have
afternoon,
you
Good
here
sir.
with us.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Trust we had a great week. Let me pick
Kind
Yeah,
of.
we
this.
did. The rain was a lot, but
It's everywhere.
we
It's
tried our
everywhere.
best.
It has been raining in my environment since morning. Okay. Oh, let me share. Let me share my screen. Uh, do, 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 do. Okay, before we move to today's topic, any concern, any feedback? Any feedback, any concern? Mm, any concern, any feedback? Because today's topic is advanced, I get it, but I would try and do justice to it. I know that last week on look a bit complex, but it is cloud and AI security. We go deeper day by day. Okay, Mr. Promise, go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Good
Yes, sir.
afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the privilege to ask granted to ask a question. Please, I watched the recordings of the last class. I just wanted to ask this question.
Okay.
We are securing our keys in the key votes, right? That's the
Yeah.
API key. Now how are we going to provide those keys to the key vote keys to the developers, and how are they going to use the keys?
Okay. Last week we talked about URI. I get it. There's a keyword URI. I get it. So depending either the keys or the secret, they will need to pipe it. If you remember, we ran a PowerShell command line. I get it, where you need to fetch. So now this way is going to work. The developer we have our back row. I get it, but it will be least privilege row. Now the keyword URI will be embedded or encoded in their script. You are not a developer, I get it. So, but the only part that concerns you is the keyword URI. So once they know the keyword URI, then either they are going to the keys or they are going to the secret. They will need to pipe it. I get it. You mention it, like we did a repo last week. I get it. It will now fetch it. Then they will authenticate and complete the process. So leave that part for a developer. But the most concern, what I'll just say from your own end is they will not even ask you. I getting it because they will have the necessary RBAC rules to know the keywords. Where they come in is okay. They might tell you to create a keyword for them, then you grant them RBAC rule. I getting it, depending on each company with different policies. So I can't say this way it's going. This is where it's going to work in your own company. Okay, like my own environment now. What we do is the keyword is already there. It's an existing environment. We are not doing anything spectacular. So the developer be the one to create the keywords. But when it comes to them executing their projects, they always come for, okay, we need the key, what do you call it? Sometimes, okay, we need the RBAC rule to have visibility because we keep on implementing, like today we're talking about policy by blocking public network access. So sometimes they are working remotely and if they are not using the VPN, they will be denied access. So most important thing is access and what do you call it, whether the certificate wants to expire or the key or the secrets are getting. But most of the time, the work you do with them is certificate. How to renew the certificate is going to expire because they don't have the right RBAC rule. You'll be the one to work with them. Then the public network access, if it is disabled, they'll need to be on the VPN. If they're not on VPN, they need to have the IP address to be able to have visibility. And once they check in, we talk about the control plane and data plane, they need to check their rules. I get some of them is only read that what they have at the control plane. It will not give them the details access. So then also the expiration. There's a place you can configure expiration when the certificate is going to expire. So they will get an automated email where they will reach out to you. So the question you're asking is more developer related, but the only part I can mention there is the keyword URI. You will get it. So they will be the one to copy it, pipe it. Are they going to keys or are they going to secrets? They will pick it from there. Then certificate is a general thing for the application. Whether it's going to expire, they want to renew it, they will reach out to you to assist. So either they bring a third party or they use Azure partner. So most of the time they use third party. So they need to export it with a private key because of, again, our barcode. They don't have the right our barcode. They cannot do it. They will reach out to you and work with them to update the certificate. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I got that. Another question again, please. We store secrets, right, in the key vault.
Yep.
Now, and for example, now if I want to get a open AI key now, will I get those keys and go and store it in the vault?
The keys.
Yes.
You can the API keys. Yes, they can create the key. You're not the one to create it. If they have the developer have the right, if they have the right permission, they can create it by themselves. I get it. Except when they don't have the permission, they reach out to you. It just create as the normal keys, depending on the format of what they call it, of the version, depending on the format or depending on what kind of API keys are they looking at, or are they doing it from the devil's perspective. So you need to also consider that part. But basically, the keys will be stored in the keys under the keys will be stored inside the keys. I getting it. Then if it's API keys, it will be stored in the same format. So that's why it is strange. It can take both alphanumeric, that is both alphabets and characters, depending. And for your app service also, you can do the same.
I don't know if I got or if you got what I mean. We use API keys to do API calls to all these AI models, right? Yes. So what I'm asking is that when I create that key, am I creating the key in Azure environment, or Azure has a resource that creates API keys for all these AI platforms? Do they have that?
Okay.
And if I create that key, will I take those keys and store in the votes for the
yes,
for the DevOps, the dev guys to access the keys here? That's what I really want to know.
I got your point. But basically,
Yes, sir.
it is keys that they will use. Like they will store it inside the keys. So they can now use manage identity to call it out to authenticate. So they will store it inside keys. I got your point. Where they are using Azure keywords, yes, it will be inside keys.
Okay.
Some might use secrets depending on the application. Some might use secrets. Basically, if you create an application, you need to have a secret. I get it. That is normal entry ID. Even forget keywords. Normal entry ID, you create an application. You go to entry ID here. So you come to app registration. So it's either you have secrets. For example, this application. So you have secrets or you have certificates. This is the normal. This is entry ID itself, app registration. So is that you have a secret or you have a certificate for that application. So now what we are now trying to put in place is we are trying to now save it inside keywords. I get it. That is well secured than using the normal this. In some environment, they still maintain this, but is it recommended? No. So you can see. So since it's an application related, I get it because the API you're talking about is application program interface. So is keyword is still recommended, or they maintain it the way they want you to maintain it. Have I answered your question?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Ozioma.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, what I want to last week you talked about certificates and
Yep.
what it stands for, and I forgot to ask. Just like the secret, when we talk about secret, we talk about passwords and other things that makes it secret. But this certificate, what really is inside the certificate that serves as should I say an electronic, a digital ID card for a website or an application? What does that certificate contain? that
Okay.
makes it genuine. But
Now,
that when it shows it to an app, the app will not see it as a genuine website or an application.
okay. Now, this is a self-signed certificate. I get it. It contains my domain name with a serial number, the subject alternative name, the x.50 SHA, and key identifier and secret identifier. This is for my own environment. So normally, if you have any certificate, like if we go here, I click on connection is secured, then we click on the certificate, you see those information there. The certificate, the public key. Then you click on details, you see the version, all those information, when it's going to expire, after. So the public key will be there. So they call it subject name. I get it. So it contains the domain, your environment, details of your environment itself. Like this contains my own. So with this now, what I need to do is to pull that information to check, because the application will check. Mind you, the application is created in Azure for my own environment.
Yeah.
So once it's able to confirm the validity of it, like this one, this is DigiSat, Azure partner. So it contains all the information. You can say this is portal.azure.com. This is for Microsoft. So it contains details of the organization requesting for that particular certificate.
Yeah.
So basically, what you are trying to do is to make it secure. That is, add this S at the back of HTTPS. So since it's in line with portal.azure.com, so this is to complement and secure it and lock it, targeting with that certificate that it's a secure environment in accordance with my own environment. So that just, it will contain details about your environment, the details of your key, details of your secret, the subject alternative name, and then that does it. So that's it. You normally can create a certificate yourself. If you want to create a SSL certificate yourself, it will ask you for your details like this, the environment, the organization, the location, the country, every information. Then you create it yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Okay. Okay, let's go to this class. Today's class is going to be 2. We do 1 to 3 today. Then next week we do 4 to 6. The modules. There are 6 modules in it. So we want to talk about enforced security governance and regulatory compliance. You know, someone asked a question last week, like, why can't we just create an application and work? That's why all this process? Yes, why all this process? If we leave it that way, I get in it that we should just be open to everybody. There'll be problem and chaos. It's like saying that you built an house, you have a gate, but you didn't lock the main gate. You open it down. Everybody can come into your environment and do whatever they want to do. Some of them will spoil the environment, some will come and steal, some will even damage it. I get it. Same thing with a state, with a country, and same thing with Azure. There must be some rules, regulations that is guiding that particular environment. Because it's in Azure does not mean that it is open for everybody to come and do anything anyhow. No, there should be some policy to guide the environment to ensure that users, because if you leave your environment for users, they can delete everything. We have seen cases where they just employ a new user. He went to the Azure tenant and he deleted some information. And when he was being asked, he said he does not know. Highlighting it. And why is it possible? Because he has the privilege role and there is no policy to restrict what he wants to delete. And he just click on it with the hope that, okay, he can recover it back. But it doesn't work that way, especially subscription. Once you click on delete, that's the end. And that's gone for life. You cannot recover it. So we are going to look at how do we enforce Azure security governance and regulatory compliance using Azure policy, resource lock, and Defender for Cloud. So for non-compliant deployments. So I move to the next slide. This slide is a bit bulky, but we'll also be navigating between Azure and the slide so that to make it much more interactive and practical. So this is the module. Like I mentioned earlier on, it is intermediate, excuse me, intermediate and advanced level. I getting it. Then there are three things we are looking at: the identity, the network, and the monitoring. These three components are very, very important in just one layer. So these are the things we will learn: how to enforce it, evaluate regulatory compliance, protect backup data, strengthen security posture, then right size our back for least privilege, and how to secure infrastructure as a code. Well, we will probably use Bicep, not infrastructure as a code like Terraform. Then I believe we should be familiar with Entra ID fundamentals, portal navigation, security controls, RBAC, general security fundamentals. Then, if time permits us, we touch RBAC. We go back to the genesis. There are some area we need to explain, or probably also explain zero trust, so that we can able to catch up. So these first three modules we'll be looking at: how to enforce, using and deploy custom policy, implement resource lock. The second one, configure security control and remediate recommendation in Defender for Cloud. Then the third one, evaluate regulatory compliance in Defender for Cloud. So why this will be next week? So let's move forward. Let's start with the module 1, Azure policy. You might have been hearing it, Azure policy, Azure policy. What does it mean? You know, I'll use a state. For example, now, let's use Lagos State as a yardstick. So the Lagos State government created a law that every last Saturday of the month, everybody should do sanitation. Are you getting it? But is everybody compliant? No. There are some areas you will go to, it will be neat. They will follow, they will do sanitation, clean their environment. But in some area, nonchalant attitude. And it's sum up to something like a trend. Lagos is dirty. Are you getting it? Lagos is dirty. How is it dirty? Is it not the people that are living inside it that are dirty? Because they fail to do what they call it, to follow the proper law. That is a directive from the state government. Same thing with Azure. I getting it. Because it's Azure doesn't mean that I can just create anything and leave it the way it is. If I do that, the next person coming in will mess it up. Another person coming in, we also see how he can steal data and make the environment to be compromised. And before you know it, we'll be under attack. And before you know it, we'll be locked out of the tenants. We cannot log in anymore. And the question is, how did it happen? What went wrong? You start asking questions. So what Azure policy, what does it do? What does it do? It is just an enforcement officer that tries to enforce the basic or baseline policy that governs Azure itself. It is for every environment. So it evaluates resources against JSON-defined rules called policy definitions. So there's what we call JSON, which is in a readable format. That is JSON, it can be like a set of declarative agent to create, to create a resource. So, but there is a policy or policy definition that checks this that we are trying to create to make sure that they are compliant. So to start with, the evaluation can run either at the creation or probably you have created the resource and make changes to it. That is the resource created or updated. I get it. There are some environment that they don't even have it in place. That is after creation, they are just putting the Azure policy in place. So it can run before creation, probably like when it is created, or after a while, or before creation, any way you want to do it. Either you want to enforce it at the creation or in the middle, it will still run. But the only thing it will do for you to create more work. So you can have new policy, that is new policy or initiative assignment, because there are four key, that is when does a resource get evaluated? Number one, there must be a policy. I getting it. You need to know the name of the policy you are using. Is it built-in or a custom? I getting it. A policy definition is just a single one, while initiative is a group of definition. I get a group of policy definition which combines. It can be more than one. It can be 20. It can be 300. It can be 400. I think we see one of them. And an existing assignment is updated. That is, you can assign it to an existing resources or before creation, and it runs every 24 hours. How are you getting it? Actually, the first time you are doing it, it takes time because depending on the number of resources you have in your environment. So Azure policy is under your subscription, so not under Entra ID. So you can search for it and you see the icon. How are you getting it? This is your Azure policy itself. I'll be taking it one after the other. So this is Azure policy. So this is definition. This is what I mean by definitions. The definitions contain those policy you want to put in place. Highlighting different policy definition. So here talks about the category of all you are looking for, either storage, network, virtual machine, app service, this container of them, so you can filter it out. Then this policy type talks about built-in, custom, or static, or all of them. So the built-in is, as you all know, that is the system is predefined with the system. The custom is the one you want to create yourself. The static one are just the one that is permanent, probably coming from the regulatory bodies. I get like NIST or the default one of Azure itself. And this is the policy definition type. Is it policy or initiative? Initiative is a combine of your policy definition. Then the scope, we are talking about the scope. Okay, let's talk about Harback a little bit here. When you talk about scope, that is, it is applicable to a resource. And we have four. We have four in general. We have management scope, we have subscription scope, we have resource group scope, and we have resource itself. That is scope. That is, scope simply means your area that you want to limit it to, when you want that policy to take effect. You can decide to tell this policy to start at management group. Are you getting it? At management group. Now, the implication is this. Management group, it is created in Entra ID, not under subscription, because it is at tenant level. Hello, are we listening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, yeah. So
Yes, sir.
management group is created at tenant level. I getting it, which you can search for it, and it is in Entra ID. So one thing about management group is to capture all your subscription into one entity. That is to have visibility on all your subscription. So anything I'm doing at this management level, we cascade. If I assign a role to you at management level, it will trickle down to the resource. Is the highest. And most of the time, this is where the management always be, just to have visibility in terms of cost, to have visibility of the subscription, either the one that created or somebody signed up or anything. Because management group is at the tenant level, is oversee all the subscription you have in the tenant. If you have 1 million subscription, all I need to do is to be adding it here, adding on your subscription. One after the other, I'll be adding it and I will have visibility to it. So if I'm giving an RBAC rule here, so that rule will cascade down to the last resource, to the last resource that I have in the tenant. So if I have a like this, this is owner at this level. So if I come to any of the resource, let's say I go to my storage, not here. So I click on storage and I come to RBAC here. So that owner will be showing as inherited. So, excuse me, you can see this is my name. This one, yeah. Well, which name am I use here? Owner. your admin. So admin is user here. This is admin. You can see here owner subscription inherited. Then you see again management group because it was inherited for the management scope. So management group is the highest hierarchy when it comes to term of scope. So if you click on it, it will take you back to management group. Okay. So that is for this part. So when does a resource get evaluated? Anytime you want to do it, I get it, depending on the policy or probably what you are working on at the moment. I get it, anything you are working on, it can be at any time. That's why it can be for an existing resource or a newly created resource. Anytime. I get it, anytime. The only thing is just that, not that it would delete anything, it won't delete, depending on what kind of policy definition. And this is your definition. There are so many, and they are in form of JSON format. If you pick, let's pick this. Highlighting it, let's pick this. So this is your definition. These are these properties, display name, which is also here. Policy type, built-in. If it's a custom, we change to custom. The mode, the description is this. Category is under regulatory compliance. Highlighting it, like it falls within the rank of ISO 27001, NSIT. Then additional metadata. This is provider. This is Microsoft. This is just a resource provider. So whenever you see Microsoft policy insights, you see that is a resource provider telling you what it's trying to do. And the version, the effect, the type is a string, which means it's a character. Display name, effect. So description, enable or disable of this policy. So what we need to focus on is this part a lot. In any policy, this part is always critical. So this has allowed value, manual and disabled. But the default is this, and you can also see the parameters here. It's also the same thing here. So available effect is manual. In case you are not satisfied with this and you want to change it, yes, you can change it either to manual or disabled, or probably you want to rewrite it. You can click on duplicate definition by rewriting it, and you are good to go. Let me go back. So as your policy structure, I just explained it. The definition, that is rule, logic, and effect. Initiative, group of definitions. That is, it is more than one. It can be 20 in one. Like this is initiative. So you can come here, go back, and pick this and say you want to see initiative. Sometimes it can be 20, it can be 100, depending. You can say this one is 433. This was 167. So it combines a lot of definitions. If you open it, it will see that it combines a lot of definition. You can see these are all the definitions. And at the same time, if you are not satisfied with all these definitions, you can also remove it. And that's why you can create your own. You can remove some of them and getting it. And most of the initiative, what they do most of the time is audit. Most of the initiative, either they do audit or you enabled, either of the two. So assignment, attach policy at a scope. That's what we just explained. That management level, subscription level, resource group level, or resource. I getting it. But most of the environment is always management level. Because why? Once it's enabled at management level, it is always difficult for you to go and make changes. So if you need to make changes, you need to raise what they call change request. So in some environments, you need to, if you are using service now, you raise a change request. You go to the meeting, you explain, you give them business justification, what and what, and they will ask you, has it been tested in non-production environment before you go ahead? And if yes, share the feedback. So in that meeting, somebody else might say, oh no, we are not agreeing with this change, and they put it on hold. So you can see the scope. So if it's done at management group level, it will trickle down to the resource. That's one thing about it. If it's done at subscription level, it will start from subscription, resource group, and resource. If it's done at resource group, it will be at resource group down to resource. If it's done at resource, it will be at resource. So you won't have understanding, you won't have visibility to this at the top here. So what happens when a resource does not comply? Now, There are 4 effects that we have. These are the 4. The audit, like I mentioned, is to evaluate the resource and mark it as non-compliance in compliance dashboard, but takes no other action. Audit is to check. It's not doing anything fantastic. It's not making changes. Excuse me. Audit is to check, that is to check all these resources that we have deployed. Are they compliant? So it's not making any changes to your environment. It's just to check and discover the non-compliant resources without disrupting any operation. So it's not making any changes. It's just to check. And most of the time, this is being run a lot in most environments. Whenever you have audit people coming around, like PwC, I know PwC is the most popular one, or EY, they come around, they run this a lot in your environment just to check. Are you following the process? If you say you are a telecommunication company, are you following the lay down rules? Are you getting it? That governs that telecommunication company. So they will evaluate this, and there they will make some recommendation. So the deny is to block the resource creation or update request at the resource manager layer. So the request returns as an error that is to block, since it doesn't meet the definition. So it will block you from creating. It's either at the point of you creating or towards the end. Are you getting it? So in case for an existing resource, are you getting it? It won't block it. It's only block for newly created one. So, but for the existing one, you just need to remediate to make it compliant. It won't block it because you already created it already before you apply the policy. Then the third one is deploy if no exists. That is, evaluate whether a related resource or settings exists. If it does not, deploy it automatically. So most of the time is always diagnostic settings. How you getting it? So configuration that needs to be provisioned alongside the resource. So it's always applicable to diagnostic settings or log and IT workspace where you need to do that. Then the last one is modify. So this gives you the opportunity to make changes to it. Are you getting it? Because it said modify. So at the point of creation, you need to give you an option. Oh, it will flag it. Probably you need to add a tag or you need to put this depending on the policy in question. And most of the time is always applicable to tag. Are you getting it? So you go back to that resource, then you apply tag to it. Then reading the compliance dashboard. So the dashboard is this. This is the dashboard. This is its overview. This overview tells you the policy compliance level, the initiative compliance, the overall resource compliance, pending remediation, and it will show you a graph. So all what you have in place. So just to tell you, okay, how it is your environment? How are you following it? Are you your policy, the policy? Are you being compliant or not compliant? You see the number of compliance one and the non-compliance one. So we click on it. I think there's another page. Okay, this is just to show you the graph of its own. So for now, out of 2,205, 42 are only compliant. So I have a lot of work to do. So then this is the graph. So the last 7 days. So if I'm making changes to it, it will be removing them and making them compliant. And if you come here, it is your compliance dashboard itself. So it tells you the number. So 2%. This is the total resource in my tenant. You can see total resource in my tenant. This is 42 compliance. These are not compliant, non-compliant initiative. So non-compliant. So this tells you the policy that are in place. So like this block accidental deletion, this is not compliance. So I need to work on it. Audit this. So these are the policy that I have implemented. And how did I know that? This contains your definition. That is all the definition, both built-in and custom. I think we have over 3,000 plus of policy. And this comes to assignment. That is, have I assigned those policy? If yes, I have 10 in number. Initiative, I have 2. Policy assignments, I have 8. So I will see the number of what they call it, policy that I've assigned. Now the scope, this is done at subscription level. Everything is done at subscription except this one. The test is a resource group. So this was done at resource group level. So you're able to see and able to identify the assignment, the policy assignment that you have enabled. So this, why the third one is a new feature. So it's for auditing VM. I getting it. So it flagged 3 virtual machine in my environment. So I've not enabled it. So it's flagging it that it wants to, we can see it said enable machine configuration or selected to onboard eligible VM and activate baseline auditing. So it wants to enable baseline auditing on those 3 VMs. So it's flagging it for me. Then the last one is exemption. Do I have any exemption? Because of probably there was a directive from the management that, okay, exclude this resource group from the policy. So this tells you how your environment look like. And most of the time, the management always come and check compliance and flag it. If environment is a big environment, you always see this a lot. And the next thing is, okay, who is going to work on this? Get it fixed. I get in it. You can check the definition yourself and say, okay, let me even check the definition. What's it doing? So you can see here, the title is this is a custom. That's why you can see here is a custom. I get in is a custom. Block accidental deletion. Deploy if no exists. So what I'll send the system is like apply a lock on all the resources. That is to prevent any accidental. We'll still talk about resource lock. So just the policy that I created to just prevent accidental deletion that, oh, I don't know, it was a mistake. No, Azure is not like that because when it comes to resource group or any resource, once you delete it, that is the end. For example, now, let's assume I want to delete, do I have anything inside here? Snapshot. So let's assume I want to delete this resource group. And I copy this. And I click here. And I click on delete. There is always a disclaimer, which people don't read. Deleting this resource group and its dependent resources is a permanent action and cannot be undone. So if you had click on delete, it has gone for life. If you raise ticket at please let me recover it, it's not possible because we will refer you back to this disclaimer. Like it is written bold and clear. Has it happened before? Yes. I've seen cases like this. It was done mistakenly. What happened? I did not know. Can you help me recover it? Unfortunately, I cannot recover it. And the guy was not happy. When it comes to ticket, you need to close it. There's nothing I can do. He wasn't happy and he didn't even reply back to my email anymore. But because I point him to this, like there is a disclaimer before you click or delete. Have you gone through it? This is not entry ID that will be in 30 days that you can recover back. But so this is a resource. So even resource you cannot recover it. It has gone for life, nothing more. So that's that part. So that's what it's called reading the compliance dashboards. Tells you about your environment, give you the percentage, tell you what needs to be done, what is left, remediation tasks. You can filter it by scope and assignment and know what is left. So the role assignment component, okay. We have 3 role assignment components. We have the principal, the role definition, and the scope. So the first one is principal. What does it mean? That is, role assignment simply means you are assigning some role definition to either a user, a group, service principal, or manager identity. So this is what you are doing. That is, this is this. You are clicking on access control. And you are clicking on add role assignment, and you have to select a particular role. Well, Azure is keep improving. These are job functions. These are the privileged administrator roles. So let's say we want to assign a contributor role. Click here, and you can see user group or service principal or manager identity. This is what the system is doing. So all the four entity, they are called principal. I getting it. They are called principal. Either a user, a group, or service principal, or manager identity. I think we did that one last week where we assigned keyword secret user to a manager identity. So either is a system assigned or a user assigned. The next one is role definition. So the role definition is what they call it, the definition, that is the operation that the user can perform, either a built-in or a custom set of allow action. So for example now, if I select contributor, this is it. These are the permission for a contributor. All these are all is permission. And these are the data action, what he cannot do, but it's not here. But these are the actions doing what he can do. These are called role definitions. So if I check the JSON of that role definition, this is what it's telling me. That with this, contributor can do, this is asterisk, we call it wildcard. That is, it has no limit. It has no limit. But since there is a not action inside it, that is fine. You have permission that knows no boundary, but for not permission, not action, you should not be able to do this. You should not be able to do this. So no matter how the contributor is moving up and down, it cannot delete, it cannot write, because I have put a caveat to it, to the asterisk, like you should not be able to delete, you should not be able to write. So all these are called it. So you can either write the role yourself, you can start from scratch and write it if you know what you want to put inside it, or use the defaults. But we have currently, I think we have over close to 1,000 roles we have in Azure when it comes to our macros. This is 917, and the other one these are privileged administrator roles. I think there's 5 in number, so close to 1,000. So just select which of the role you want to use and contain your built-in or custom set of allow actions. So in the example is storage blob data reader. Now this is more of granular role, I get it, which is only applicable to storage. You will not see this role just anyhow. It is when you go to, because if you check here and you say, okay, this is not storage, this is a resource. So it said storage. So you can see storage blob data reader. It is more of granular role. Okay, this is there. Okay, probably because it's VM. So this role is not applicable to a VM. It is only applicable to a storage. Then boundary, where the role is granted and inherited. Are you assigning to a resource, management group, resource group, or a resource? So these are the 3 components of role assignment. So you start with your principal, your role definition, and the scope. So overprivileged access detection and resource lock. So there are some users that they have too much privilege. I get it. There are some environments like everybody will be requesting for owner role, contributor role. The question is, do they even need that role? Some of them don't even need the role, and some of them don't even know the usefulness of those roles. I just want to have owner role, especially customers on a subscription. I want to have an owner role. Why? I've seen it somewhere say, okay, I was assigned a contributor role, but it wasn't enough. You are not the owner of the subscription. That is what the company says, that they should give you a contributor role, but you are requesting for owner role. I think you need to reach out to your subscription management team to assign you the necessary that we can do it. So there's what they call access review, where you review accesses, either quarterly, monthly, or I think there's one you can do every 6 months or yearly, just to check that the role that I've assigned to you, are you using it? When was the last time you used it? What are you using it to do? Even your job title, does it require this kind of role? And that's what we call least privilege role. As we have it in Entra ID, we also have it in what we call it in subscription. There's what we call least privilege role. That is the role that is enough for you to carry out your day-to-day activity. Then there is fine broad scope and still assignments. There are some roles that you are assigned at subscription level, but the owner, the person that you assign the role to, does not need that at that level. Probably just only at the resource level. Then the last one, remedy to least privilege and monitor your current status. You should be able to bring it down to least privilege and monitor it. So this resource lock, we have 2 types of resource lock. Cannot delete and read only. That is, cannot delete, it blocks deletion. So this is it. Resource lock. So it's either you assign it at the subscription level or at the resource group level. So you can come here and do it at subscription level. Settings. Then you see resource lock. So we have two types. You can see it here. There is read only, and there is delete, or some people call it cannot delete. But the difference is this: read only, what it does is it blocks write and delete. That is, you cannot update it. It blocks write operation and delete operation. This simply means you can only read alone. How are you getting it? You can only read alone. But if it is delete, you can modify that resource, but you cannot delete it. You can modify that resource, probably change the name or change anything or make some changes to it, but you cannot delete it. That's the difference. And most of the time, this is the lock. We can do it using Azure policy. I think we'll see that one. So for this one, I use Azure policy to enforce it at subscription level. And you can also do it at the resource group level. So either way, that is okay with you. Yeah, this is resource group. Then this is lock. Yes, you can see. So you can do it at the resource group level or at the resource level, depending on where. But most of the time, it's applicable at subscription level, depending on what you want to do. So all what is doing is prevent accidental deletion. I get it. So a lot of environments put this in place. So for example, like I have this resource group. So if I want to delete it, let's assume I want to delete this resource group. I get it. Let's assume I want to delete it, and I have this, and I click this, copy this, and I have this, and I click on this. So I should get an error message that says that it is locked, as you can see, and cannot be deleted. Because of what? I have these locks in it. And this is delete, which is cannot delete. So I can't delete it. So it won't allow me to delete it. And the person that can remove it is owner role. I think user access administrator and owner role can remove it. But it won't just allow me to just delete anything. So I need to reach out to someone that has owner role or user access administrator to be able to remove the lock, and I can delete it. So that is one thing about the resource lock. But the other version, which is read-only, you can't make changes to that particular resource because it said read-only. You can only read, that is view only to the resource. So it's treated as a final guardrail against accidental destruction, that is to avoid accidental destruction.
You understand?
Any questions so far? Oh, Mr. Isaac, sorry, I didn't see it. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please. I just wanted to find out if someone with the global admin role be able to delete or remove a lock, I mean. Global admin,
okay.
can global admin role remove a lock?
Yeah, I will show you something because somebody asked the same question in one section like that. Now, I think there's a part of it. Let's break it down. Now, you see, global admin role is a super user. Are you getting it? The answer is two things: yes and no. Why am I saying yes and no? By default, a global admin cannot delete a resource lock. Because why? Global admin role is for Entra ID, not for subscription. And that's why I'm sharing my screen. And if you compare here, what we have here. So I want you to look at this similarity, the differences of those roles that we are looking at. I get in here is almost like administrator, reader, operator. So a global admin does not, I get in it, have business with subscription. That's why I'm saying yes and no. And if you check the roles here, you will only be seeing owner role. So there's nothing like global admin role. There's nothing like global admin. The super user here is owner role. However, because it's a global admin, I get it, because he's a global admin, he has a workaround. All he needs to do is to go to what they call the properties and toggle this yes, like I said, because he's a global admin. So it can toggle this thing to yes and see the description, access management for Azure resources. It simply means can manage access to all Azure subscription and management group in these tenants. That is, it is when it toggle it to yes. Once it toggle it to yes, it will inherit a role called user access administrator. I get it. Once it toggle this to yes, all it just needs to do is to sign out and sign in. It will inherit a role called user access administrator, which is a root on subscription. So then it can now go to subscription. That is when you will now see subscription. I get it. Before you will not see it. Because he has toggled it to yes, that's where you will now see subscription. He cannot go there and say, okay, now that I have, this is the role I'm talking about. So that's why it is root inherited. Because I toggle it to yes, you will see it, user access administrator. So it's a root. So it's coming through the back door. And the only thing is because it's global admin. So automatically it will now inherit a role, user access administrator, on the subscription itself. And at this point, he cannot decide to add himself to owner and remove that lock or delete that lock. I said only owner and user administrator can remove the lock. So those are the two guys that can remove. So that is yes and no. So by default, no. But because it's a global admin and he can find his way around Azure, toggle it to yes, sign in, sign out in case it doesn't take effect immediately. He will inherit this role and he can do another. And with this role, he will now have visibility to all the subscription. Don't forget, all the subscription. Even if any user go and sign up for any subscription in any place, he will see everything. And he can control those subscription without even adding. And it's only applicable to a global admin role, no any other role. Any other question?
Thank you so much, Mr. Ajala. I think from your explanation of this, it clarifies what I wanted to ask. But what I wanted to ask is if a contributor role, either at the management or subscription level, does it have the privilege to unlock the settings to delete, so be able to delete? But I think because you made mention that it's just the owner or the user access administrator that has the privilege to unlock. So I think from your explanation, you just clarified what I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, thank you. So let's proceed. So talk about lock. Hold on. Please hold on. My screen. Okay. So now let's move to module 2. We have talked about Azure policy and the resource lock. So okay, we still have a lab, but in the meantime for the lab, okay, let's just see something. So for the policy, you need you need 2 rows for you to be able to assign policy. Either you have a resource policy contributor or owner role, because that's the new role Azure just brought about. I think it's resource policy for you to be able to. No, I'm looking for it here. I think resource policy contributor. I've forgotten the full name. Or is it under privilege? So there is resource policy. Why it's not? It's supposed to be resource policy contributor. Yeah, this is the role you need for you to create or modify any resource policy. I get it. This is what you need. Or you have another role. You are good to go. So let's which page are we? Okay, I think we are almost, because the class is divided to 2, so we are only doing 1 to 3 today. So this is Azure policy. So all you have to do is click on definition, highlight needs. We'll use PowerShell to also use to assign policy. But let me do the GUI. Probably next week we'll just use Azure policy to do that. So this is the definition, highlighting it. So depending on what you are looking for, these are the category, highlighting it. These are the category. This is 1.1 up to anyone. So for example, now the most popular policy that people disable in any environment is public network access. They disable it. This one is common in almost every environment that wants to be compliant. So a lot of people disable public network access. I get it. So I can just, let me use storage category and then do storage. So that it will be running. So let me just do storage. So most environment always disable public network access. Why? They don't want you to open to the internet. So this is storage account should disable public network access. So I will check. And this is the policy. So I have audit, I have deny, I have disabled. So always focus on the effects. These are the effects. These three guys. These are allowed values, but the one that comes to play is default value audit. Or you come to parameters to know, okay, this is the effect. So they have this. So you click on assign. So now, am I doing it at the subscription level or at the, what do you call it, at management level? It's left for me. So I only have one subscription. So which is this? Resource group, no. I want to do that subscription level. I will select. Then this is exclusion. In case there is a particular resource group or particular resource I want to remove from that policy, I don't want it to take effect on that policy. I will add it here. Then busy name. So there's only of changing the name. Just leave it the way it is so that you can able to identify it. If you want to change it, or probably want to look for something else, probably like another definition, you can look at it from here. Probably it was a mistake for you selecting. So this is the version we have, 1.1. There's 1.0. Now it has been upgraded. I guess this is 1.1. We want to go back to the default 1.0. So I still want to maintain the same name. So I can, in order to avoid confusion, I can say, okay, excuse me, subscription. No, I can just mention, my subscription MSDN. I get it just to identify it. So this is okay, testing, or I can write auditing. Now, this policy enforcement simply means I want to enable it. If I put it here, it simply means it will be created, it will not be enabled. I get it. It will be created, but it will not be enabled. So I'll do this. I want to enable it. I'll click on next. Now, we have some existing, and we have not yet created a new one. So I will uncheck this button. Why am I unchecking this button? In case I want to change the audit. What happened? This is stuck. Okay, in case I want to change the audit to something else, to deny, to disabled. But if I want to maintain the audit, I don't need to uncheck it. I get it. I will leave it as default. But in case I want to change it, like, oh, I don't want to do audit, I want to deny everybody. That going forward, anybody that wants to create such account and is enabling public, you should deny it. So I'll leave it as a default. Then next, mind you, I'm doing auditing, so there is no need of remediation. It's audits. It's not doing anything fantastic. So there's no need for remediation time. Remediation time, like I want to remediate it in case it does not meet up the requirement. So my identity, I don't need it. In case I still want to do a remediation, I will need my identity, but I want you to make sure that it's automated. So I will leave it blank. So the message, so I can tell anyone that please reach out to it. I can tell them like, okay, please reach out to cloud and AI security team. it. So when they are stuck, I can put my email or phone number. Since it's a team, I can just put my email there. Then I click next and I click on create. Mind you, it was on a subscription level. So now this policy, now the system will tell you 5 to 15 minutes to take effect. Why? Because you need to check the number of resources you have. I get it. I'm doing that at the subscription level. I can have more than one, more than two, more than three. So I should give him 5 to 15 minutes. So once you assign a policy, then you come to, now this is definition. So I can remove it here. So once you assign a policy, you come to your assignment, come and check. You're supposed to see it here. Once a policy is being assigned, you come to assignment, come and check. Now this is it. I get it. This is it. Subscription level. So you double click on it. Please hold on. Please give me like 5 minutes. Please give me like 5 minutes. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Apologies, everyone. So once you assign it finish, then you come to assignment. So let's check this. So now this is the dashboard for this particular policy. You can see effect is audit. So it's just to check. So nothing is written here. So it's still auditing. No, this description auditing. So we come to view compliance. So the view compliance shows whether it has started or not. You can see it is just to, this time said 5 to 15 minutes. So the last time it shows. So let's give it to 15 minutes. So, but it's not started. Once it started, it will change. It will tell you the number. So now we have enabled the policy. So let's try and go to storage accounts and let's see how. Let's try and create a storage account and have the public network access being created. Just create it randomly. Let me just choose anyone. AI. No, not using this. Capital letter. Okay. Cloud store. Okay. Lowercase name must be between this character. Yes. Let me remove this. Are your files? Okay. Next. Now this is networking. We said the system should block it. How are you getting it? Apart from you having it block, the system already telling you like putting it like this is not the best solution. We ignore it. This and this and this and this. So let's assume that okay, let's create. So now we need to create. Oh, it's created. Can anybody tell us what happened? Hello, are we there?
Because the policy has not taken effect.
Thank you. Then also we can go back to the policy itself and check like, okay, we created a policy. We said it should be at subscription level. So it simply means the policy has not taken effect. So that's why I need to also understand the policy. Give it the right time. At least wait for that 5 to 15 minutes for it to check, to do his work. So this is a policy. Let's check again. This is a policy. This is subscription level. So like what someone said, it has not taken effect. Then we come back and check here. Let's say, has it taken effect? That's taken effect. So why? So what happened? Was there a latency or a loophole? Excuse me. So this one, it flagged this one, as you can see, this Oluwatosin, but this one was able to be created. Either there was a loophole or something, but let's check. It's always good to verify what went wrong to know. And this is under networking. This is under networking. So let's check.
I think we use audits rather than deny.
That's another thing again. Thank you. I have groups in his house. Somebody said we use audit rather than denying. Anybody again? Okay. The second, the person that mentioned audit is actually right. Didn't deny. Related to the system, audit. So audit is not doing anything fantastic. It's only checking. Are you compliant or not compliant? So it's not going to stop you. So if I set it to deny, that is, if I go to view assignment and say, okay, this is this, and I say, okay, edit assignment going forward. I want to come to parameters and say, okay, you know what? I want to set it to deny. And I click here, review and save. And say, yeah. So now if I say deny, it's going to block this. That's implication. So that is audit is, you will just check. Then let me just refresh. So view compliance. So it's still showing us. So now if I say, okay, let me create a new one, put it on this resource storage account. So in case you are seeing some things like, okay, why cannot able to create? Just know that either it was set to deny, cloud storage 2, 3. Next, I will just leave everything as default. And okay, yeah. But one thing about storage, like if it's deleted, you can recover it. At least Microsoft has done that one for storage. You can see it didn't allow us to create. So the policy came, what they call it, shows that storage account should be, you can see storage account should disable public network. So it won't allow you to create. So the first one, it was because it was audit. The second, because it is deny. So one good thing is the message we put across, reason, please reach out to cloud and AI security team. And if I click on this policy link, it will take me to the policy. So you did not need to reach out. I need to reach out and tell you, like, do you want to exclude it? I get it. So that is different between audit and deny. Any question? Okay. I think we are good with that one. So let's move forward. So let's talk about some security controls and how do we remediate recommendation in Defender for Cloud. So Defender for Cloud settings controls what gets monitored and how data is collected. So it's always good to configure once at management level so that every other subscription we inherit it automatically. And when you are doing that, when you enable it, Defender for Cloud, it has 3 auto provisioning. Azure Monitor for agent, that is to collect logs. Defender for endpoints, so you need to install, like an endpoint detection on your VM, in Windows and Linux. Then vulnerability assessment, this is common a lot. Okay, someone has a question, Uche. Go ahead.
Sorry, sir. I just want to call your attention to the question Okoyemi asked on the charts. I'm interested in it, so
Sorry.
I just that's why I
Ah,
raised the hand. Thank you.
thank you. Let me check. Uh, hmm. Will the policy take effect on existing resource or just newly? Now, I mentioned it for newly created resource. Yes. For the existing one, you can't delete it, but it will flag it. I get it. If you go back to that same policy, it's not going to delete them. It's not going to delete them. It won't delete them. I made mention of it. He will only just check and he tell you that it's not compliant. It won't delete them, but it's going to affect newly created one that you just created because it will start from that one. But the existing one, it will only flag it. So by the time you come here and you come to view compliance, because we set it on the night doesn't mean that we can't. No, it won't delete them. I get it. Like this Oluwatosin now, it won't delete it. I get it. It's still existing in tenants, so it won't delete it. It will still be there. So deleting it won't tell me this is view resource. I can go from that policy to the resource. So the storage account will stay there, but it will tell me that it's not compliant. That is what he can do. He will not remove it. Will not have even be passed. That is when you are creating. When we're creating a new one, it will not allow us to create. I getting it. That's why I say some of the policy, the way it works, some works at the beginning, some wait for you to do all the stress and wait for you at the bus stop. When you are supposed to click on create, it will take that create button, it will take it out. It will be grayed out, and it will now flag the message that the storage account will try to create. That's where so it depends on the policy sometimes. Some at the beginning, some towards the end. At the end, that's where we can wait for you. So until you get to the final stage where you need to click on create, that's where you see the error. So that's where some policy works. Any other question? Okay, let's proceed. So these are the three agents. Once you have this defender for cloud enabled, I getting it. It will always ensure that because defender for cloud, you are defending your environment. So there's will be a log where you can check what is happening. So one thing about what he will push through is to have one central log analytic workspace. We call it LAW, LAW. Some you call it log analytics. I getting it. But once you enable this defender for cloud, it will enforce that you have just one, so that all logs will be in a central log analytic workspace where you can see all the logs as regards whatever is happening in your environment. So you can go there and probably query it at once. Because by the time he's doing Azure monitoring agent, this one capture logs. So the vendor for endpoints, which is looking at your VM. So 6 logs and the logs for your VM, everything needs to be captured. The morality assessment, as he's scanning it, he's dropping some more data for you. So you need to go to a central location. So it's always advisable. What most people do is this. People that have like multiple subscription, they have for non-prod and they have for prod. So they only have 2 locality workspace. But sometimes because of security people, cybersecurity people, they always want to have their own dedicated locality workspace. Well, but let me shock you, it's not free. Locality workspace is not free. Uh, this is what they talk locality workspace. So it depends on which option are you using. If you say you want to be having it for each resource, then you need to be able to bear the cost. So if it comes to usage and estimated cost, well, the best option, this is it now. This is my own environment. So, and you can say, well, because my environment is not a big environment, so I go for the option of pay as you go. I get it. So this is how much they are charging. I get it. But if it's a bigger environment, you spend more than this. The only time I have more logs was July 12. I get it. It started coming down because why? It's a test environment. But if it's a production environment, you spend more than this. So it's not free. I've seen some environment that they will create log analytics for each of the resource. And I was like, your bill is not going to be funny every month. So it's a lot of money. It's not free. But the best option is pay as you go. But any other one is 100 gig. They'll give 15 discounts, 200 gig, 20% discount, 300, so on and so forth. So use one dedicated that will be central. For non-production, use one for it. For production environment, use one for it. So it's help. So you can run your query, whatever you want to run in it. You can go here and run whatever query you want to run. I get in it. All you have to do is to change this to KL, that crystal query language, and check the table. This is the logs. So all you have to do is just, you can even double click one and say run. In case you are not familiar with the command, then if you are familiar with the command, you can pipe it and say where are you getting it, resource ID or subscription ID, like that. You start your work. So these are the three things, three agents that automatically will be enabled once you have Defender for Cloud settings. That is, you want you to control what is happening, monitor and collect data in your environment. So let's talk about the security standards. What generates recommendation? This is the default for Microsoft point of view. Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark. I get it. That is the default. So it's used for default baseline, which covers identity, network, data protection, compute, and login controls. So what we are talking about is this. This is Defender for Cloud. Yeah, close it. So this is your Defender for Cloud. So this is, I've enabled it to manage my environment, and that's why you are seeing all these dashboard security posture. So if it is AWS, is welcome. GCP, you are welcome. I getting it. It can do multi-cloud. That's one good thing about it. So if I come to security posture, so this is my subscription. So as I'm updating it, I get it, as I'm probably making changes to it, it will be increasing this score, this total secure score. It will keep increasing it. So you can see I only have Azure. As me I have AWS, GCP, DevOps, I will be seeing those. And it will always tell me recommendation, what is missing, what I need to put in place in my environment. How I getting it. What I need to make so that to make my environment. So misconfiguration is there. All these misconfiguration, that is, I need to work on it to ensure what they call it, their compliance, the vulnerability, the secret. And one good thing about it, anyone you click on it, like let's say for example you click on Azure Backup, there's a 4 cardinal points that to tell you that where you need to fix. It will tell you the level of the risk, which is high, the machine in question, not yet assigned, the scope, the exposure, the implication. This is Azure Backup should be enabled for virtual machine, and this is a risk factor exposed to the internet. When when was it detected? You can see. So take action. It will share the step that I need to follow to resolve it. And in case I don't want to do it myself, I can assign to somebody else and set a time and date for that person. The person will receive an email and tell him this needs to be done. I get in case you want to give it to the admin, give it to somebody else. Then assign it to the person. You can set date. Normally it gives 14 days. 14 days notice period to make changes. Because if we check today's date is 18, if I'm correct, yes, today is 18, and it's given 01 of August. So that is 14 days, 2 weeks for you to make changes to it. So you always go to assign to an owner. Why? So that you can hold somebody responsible for it if things are not working the way it's supposed to work. You can say you want to exempt it. You can also trigger logic app like automation if you have one to run it for you. I get in, but I don't have any logic app. Yeah. Or enforce remediation for future going forward. That going forward, there should be, it will take you to the Azure policy. There should be Azure backup should be enabled for virtual machine so that such will not repeat itself. So the one of the security that we control that we mentioned, you can also find it in what they call it in Azure policy. That's the Microsoft own. So these definitions contain all the policies. So the one of Microsoft, you can search for it here. Microsoft, I think MCSB. Maybe I can find it. The short. This is it. Microsoft Cloud Security. I mentioned that it can contain more than one. This is like initiative. This is 730 policies. This is 700. So most of the environments, this should be enabled by default. But it doesn't enable by default just like that. But it is the foundational security posture assigned to every subscription automatically. Well, don't mind my environment. I didn't follow the process. So that's why it was not enabled automatically. So normally, once you enable the Defender for Cloud, you're supposed to spring up this and enable it. And it is audit. It's not doing any enforcement. You can see everything is. Let me check the parameters. Strange. Some are audit. You can see audit, disabled audit, audit. Most of the time it's always audit. It's just to checkmate. Are you compliant or not? Are you compliant or not? Then we have this CI Microsoft Azure Foundation benchmark. This is basically for Azure security configuration, which demonstrates alignment with industry standard adding guardians. You must be enabled. If your environment is more of security concern, this must be enabled. And this is NIST. This one is popular US government security control framework. It's just federal compliance and vendor several. Now you might be wondering, why are we having this? See, there are some projects you want to do. If you don't have all this in place, they will not give you projects. Even in Nigeria, there are some projects. I know this one is common a lot. I think most people will be familiar with this. ISO 27001. This is talk about GDPR. I getting it. If you don't have this certification as an organization, you don't have this in place. There are some projects if you push for, they will bounce you back. They will deny you because they believe you are not a trusted vendor that they can work with. That's just it. That you're not a trusted vendor that they can commit that kind of project into it. Because everybody's looking for a trusted project. I get in trusted customer. This is for health. This is PCI DSS. This is card. I get in payment card, industry data security. So all this must be enabled and you must pass the audit. It must be compliant. I think this should be common with people that use card a lot. Credit card transaction. I get in it. Credit card transaction. So it must be enabled to show your quality that you are trustworthy. Then all you call it, either the likes of EY or P, we also come and confirm. There are some organizations that they take audits serious. I get it. And when those audits people come around, they log into your environment to check, are you compliant? And they will write a report and drop it. I get it. It's just that sometimes it doesn't end well in some organizations. Some people are being sacked. Some people, they need to reshuffle. Some people, they will tell you, you are doing multiple roles. You need to streamline it, all this. Probably check and balance. And so because you need to be compliant with this. Like someone said last, you asked the question of developer that why can't just this? With this now, you can be convinced that you can't just create it anyhow and leave it anyhow. I get it. So it doesn't work that way. So deploy remediation control as skill. So we have the 4 components: the fix, policy remediation task, governance rule, and exception. This is what we just look at. That is under security posture here. When it comes to security posture here, you click view recommendation. So some of them can be fixed automatically. Some, it will tell you, this is what it's talking about. So if you click here, so for this one, there is no fix. Not that there's no fix automatically. You just need to take action. So where there is no fix, that is, remediation shows a fix button, but here it's not showing a fix button for us. So it said, this is take action, remediation task. What we need to do, we need to do it ourselves. It's not going to do it for us. Then the governance rule itself, recommendation owner, that who should take the initiative to implement it, and the due date. If there's any an exemption, that is, exemption simply means you are only excluding the person based on leadership directive or information, or probably any business justification, something reasonable. You can put there and exempt this particular resource from it. All you have to do is to put justification in it. At which level are you doing it? This level or this level or this level? Then put something to back it up. So your exemption can be mitigated or waiver. I get it. Mitigated is probably resolved through a third party service, or waiver probably a temporary for now. Temporary risk. I get it. Or you can set a date or time to it. Then you put a justification, and here is expiration date and time for it to expire. But mitigated, I don't think you need to put date and time, because when you say mitigated, that is resolved partially. So, and you let it be. You can see it, we were risk accepted, no compensating control exists. Mitigated, a compensating control provide equivalent protection. Just let it be. But there must be justification, there must be an approval. Because if truly your environment, okay, I was working on a project and I need to enable public network access. Last week we talked about Azure Monitor and Azure Backup, that when you implement public network access, there's always some controversy. So I'm working on a project. I've tried using, what do you call it, private endpoint. It doesn't give me the required results. So, but I need to set it to public network access. So I need to write an email and back it up to the justification to the security team. I'm getting it. People that oversee, because the environment is a big environment, and I had to write an email to them and tell them like, okay, please give me 3 days to complete this particular task. So once it's 3 days, you can take it off. I'm getting it. So just give me an exception. All you have to do is to go to that policy. Go to that policy in question. You can go to that policy in question and you come to create an exception. Put the information here. I get it. Okay, probably like, okay, please, temporary, you can just say temporary access. But that kind of email, my manager will be in the copy and I can set a date to it. I get it. So I can say, okay, I will give it to 31st, then set a time. Then review and create for this, yes, and create. So by the time I come to dashboard, to the policy itself, fine, it might take some time, but you will see that under exemption, it should be there that this particular resource should be here. You can see. So it will be, okay, we didn't put the name, but at least it will be there on record like, oh, we are aware of it. So whoever is checking. So it will come back after within the next 7 days to come and check again. Have you done the needful? If not, they will come and flag you. Okay. Any question? Okay. Evaluate regulatory compliance in Defender for cloud. So we have three types of compliance standards. Security benchmark. You mentioned Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark is a primary example based on CIS and NSIT. So most people use this a lot. The regulatory standard, all those ISO 27001, NSIT. So they are regulated as industry and government framework, which are standard. Then the third one is custom standard. How you getting it? You can create your own. So come to Defender for cloud. So this is regulatory compliance. I getting it under Microsoft Defender for cloud. You see a list there. So these are this. This is Microsoft Cloud Security 42 out of there. This is the lowest. So it will show you a table. So these are your own. This Microsoft Cloud Security, and these are the controls. You can. This I'm not complying with this. That's why it's flagging it. network security, deploy firewall. So fine, it's my own environment, fine, but I'm not compliant because if I want to, I need to be compliant and click on then and follow the right step. It will tell me what needs to be done on those, on all of them. So this, it will check because this shows the out of 63, I have 42. I passed 42. But for the Azure one, I'm failing 2. Show the 2. This one does not be implemented, but Microsoft one is implemented. But the Microsoft one that is implemented, I'm still defaulting. So I need to put something in place. This is applied to my subscription. Same thing with this also is applied to my subscription. So I need to value it and check. And it will always tell me what needs to be done. Any of them will tell you what needs to be done. Highlighting it. So if you want to manage the compliance, probably you are looking at, okay, this control, do I want to create my own? Highlighting it. You can probably create your own standard, what and what you need to put inside it. Give it a name of your choice. You can easy security, vulnerability, what it wants it to do in your own environment. So that is for the 3 types of compliance standard that we have: the security benchmark, the regulatory standard, and the custom standard. How are you getting it? Well, to me, I've not even exhausted this regulatory standard. Why am I rushing for custom? Well, each environment is unique to each other. Some customers prefer to have something different, but it will flag what needs to be done, what you need to put. These are for GWC, GC, AWS. I don't have AWS, but this is Azure own. So it will highlight it for you, then tell you what needs to be done to make it much more compliant. So that is that part. So, so there are 2, when you're working with Microsoft Defender for Cloud, as regards this policy, is either you do it from Azure Portal or you do it from Defender Portal. So for Azure Portal, you need owner role or policy contributor to assign a standard. But for Defender for Portal, you need reader role. Security reader role is not enough. But in some environments, they can give security administrator role. So for Defender for Portal, this. So Defender for Portal is security.microsoft.com. No, nothing is typing. So the Azure Portal one is normal Azure policy. This is your policy that you go here. This is your normal policy. So this is Azure Portal one. But Defender for Cloud is a bit different. Please, any question? So you click here, then go to class security, click on overview. So there's a small video you can watch.
Mr. Ajala, I think we have
Yes,
someone's hand now. Joseph.
sorry. Let me see. Sorry, I don't see. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Joseph.
Good afternoon, evening, sir. Well done
Listen.
for the job so far. I wanted to find out whether you need to be a global admin to log into Defender for Cloud, or once you log in through Azure, you are fine. Or you need to also go and be have to be licensed to be a global admin to be able to log in Defender for Cloud.
If you're a security administrator, because also we need to consider global admin will work, no doubt about it. But we need to look at least privilege rule. That's what we are preaching. Least privilege rule. So security administrator is still okay. I get it. But if you're not carrying out any serious tasks, you can go for global reader rule. I get it. That's why I say security reader alone is not enough. So you can go for security administrator role. That one is much more, he has more permission. But if you are giving a security reader, yes. But for you to, because the monitoring interface compliance course, this remediation program, read only. So you need reader role with it. I get it. So in some environments, they will tell you you need to have, even in the documentation itself, you need to have security administrator with a contributor role. If you are a mid-level, but if you are not doing anything, or what they call it, if you are only just trying to view a loop, security reader with reader role is okay. But global admin will work perfectly well. I get it. But if we are looking at it from least privilege role, it's too much. I get it. It's too much. So depending on the job role and the task you are performing, then if it's just to view, this is okay. But if to do some tasks, security administrator is okay for you to carry out any tasks. But for you to view, security, that's okay. It's okay. Any other question?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay. Okay. So for Defender for Cloud, you can see it has scanned highlighting. Normally, it is not done automatically because you need to onboard it. You need to onboard it. And you can see 96.1 threat detection on, partially covered. It tells you more about your environment. So if it's AWS, you're welcome, GCP, DevOps, GitHub, but I only have this. I'm getting it. So you cannot take it further to go to exposure in case you want to exploit that. Okay, I don't want to stay there alone. I want just to see what is happening. Generally, check the initiative, the cloud resources, the zero trust, so many security, what do you call it, security control that you like to have. So you can go ahead and enable some of them like this. Excuse me. Business email compromise, CISM to foundation benchmark, are getting it. So you can also enable it. But yeah, I think I only have one filter. So there is domain initiative, there is threat initiative. So, but you can maintain domain initiative because it's checking in the old domain as a whole. But this is threat. And is there any threat coming in? So you can also manage it here. And this is class security, which is also under there. But he said no data for now. So nothing, none in 90 days. So nothing is seen here. The endpoint, well, the endpoint security, I've not installed some of the endpoints on those servers. So you might not have some logs because all the things you can see no data. So it's not fetching any data to be able to analyze the environment. The one that you can analyze, you can see. So you need to configure those initiatives to be able to pick those logs and check and review the environment. But most especially, most of us just stay here. In most environments, we just stay on our job policy. We don't bother to go to our Defender for Cloud to go and monitor one or two things because the management always come here and check here and do a screenshot and send it to you. What is happening? What are we having read? What is happening? Can you investigate? I get it. So most of them stays there a lot and check, and they ask for audit report to send you to that is generate the audit report. What is happening? They want to know the resources that are compliant and not compliant and explain why they are not compliant. You need to give it detailed information depending on the manager you are working on with. So that's why I say it can be managed in Azure Portal, then Defender for Portal. So just to monitor the compliance score, control details, and remediation progress. So, but you need to configure it so that it can able to read data across the platform itself. Okay. So in case there is an issue targeting it, you need to check what is happening. Probably you notice you need to investigate a failing assessment. You are not meeting up. So you go to the dashboard of Defender for Cloud, which we did here. Defender for Cloud, no, this is it. So we start from here, regulatory compliance. You can see open regulatory compliance dashboard. Review the lowest performing standard. Select a standard, ISO. This. I have ISO. This is my lowest compliance. So this is not enabled. This is enabled. So I need to check. So these are all the Microsoft Security Cloud which is applied to you. So this, where it's showing red, it simply means I need to work on it. All network ports should be trusted, should be restricted to network security. So I need to ensure that my network ports should be restricted to NSG, attached to your virtual machine, not picking in form. So you can double click on it to read more. It always tell you what needs to be done. I get it. It will tell you, and it will list out all the resources. Like this VM now, this is affected resource. So now it will tell you what went wrong. It said Defender for Cloud has identified some of your network security inbound rules to be permissive. Inbound rules should not allow access from any. I get it. Now it's telling me on my NSG, I have any. And if you click on it, and the reason is exposed to the internet. So if you click on this, you can verify it, then go to your networking NSG to confirm what it's saying, whether it is true or not. So you can see I have it. This is my RDP, any. So I allow you to the network. So anything can happen. In my production environment, you can't just open this for 3889. Either you have a jump server that will connect to the other VM, not just open it directly, or you have a VPN. Once you have a VPN, in some environments, you need to have a VPN before you connect to some virtual machine. Some VPN jumps server before the connect, depending on the architectural design of each environment. So this tells you what went wrong with this particular VM. So the step is provided. You can assign it. You already told, please assign to this person. Then set date, time for it. So you can click on view to check the recommendation. Then assign it to owner. When was it detected? Last change date, everything. Then you want to exempt it. You want to trigger logic app to perform it. That is, you need to have a logic app being created and map to these particular devices. So find, isolate, diagnose, fix, and verify. So you can do it from Azure Portal or use infrastructure as a code. So verify score at next cycle. So it runs every 12 hours. 12 hours runs roughly a 12-hour cycle. So sometimes the remediation might not take effect immediately, especially secure score. Secure score sometimes takes 24 hours to 48 hours for it to reflect the score. So in case it does not take effect immediately, all you have to do, you need to be patient and able to clear the error. Okay, assign standard and communicate compliance posture. So open Defender for Cloud, regulatory compliance, manage compliance policy, pick subscription or management group, security policy, toggle the standard on Defender for Cloud, evaluate automatically. So I think mine is already done. So what it's telling you is this. Mine is done already. This is what it's telling you, this and this. So you can even download the report and manage the compliance standard or the audit report. So clear to you. So mine is already assigned and doing the work. Let me change this to dashboard. So that's why I was able to run and show me what is missing, what I need to do in my environment. So these are what I need to put in place. So many things. Where you see green, you will see red. So where you see red, something is not right. Like this. This is discovered. This is for purview, DLP, but this control details, something needs to be done. So the compliance, like this compliance control, Microsoft Defender for storage should have this. So I need to figure it out. On the subscription is showing red. Azure resource. This is good. This one, I don't have any API. So just telling you what needs to be done. And one good thing about it will always tell you the process, what needs to be done, and explain to you in a plain manner that, okay, this needs to be enabled in your environment. So configuration aspect require permission for Azure policy is always owner policy contributor role on the subscription. Require prerequisite any defender plan will work. We talk about defender first. Security defend what you call this security plan. There is free and there is paid. How are you getting it? Recommended scope, always do it at management level, because if you don't do it at management level, you'll be doing it on each subscription, one after the other, and it might take time because you might miss out on some subscription. Initial data population, it takes 12 hours for the first assignment results for it to run, and you can download the reports in form of PDF or CSV, and you can also integrate with Purview. So I getting it. Purview, any standard you had here, including AWS or GSO, to have Surface in the compliance manager, probably to check like what is showing us the sensitive information, what needs to be done, what needs to be done, and what needs to be taken away, so that you don't reveal sensitive information outside and don't give them for threat or insider threat people to bombard your environment. So okay. Enforce government, this is I think we are good from here. So far so good. Enforce governance with Azure policy, then lock down critical resource with resource lock, then the right size of our RBAC rule and remediate over privilege access for least privilege. Configure security standard in Defender for cloud, remediate recommendation before they become findings, then evaluate regulatory compliance continuously, and communicate posture through compliance dashboard. Any question?
Do we have questions? Should we take silence as a sign of clear explanations and proper understanding?
Or
Okay.
is everybody is quiet?
Okay, so my guess is that we all understood. That
Is it
means, Mr.
possible
Ajala,
that
you did that. It's possible. You probably did an exceptional job, and that's the reason why everyone
just if not, I
understands.
for you. Don't use company privilege account for testing. No. This is getting deeper week by week. When are we getting testing? Okay.
I promise you, we are working on that. We are working on that, and as soon as we have headway or we have more updates for you guys, we will definitely let you know.
Okay. Somebody asked a question. Say, is it possible that some of the acts on the compliance policy overlap? Yes, it's possible. How are you getting it? Okay, let's go here. Let me duplicate here. Yes. Sometimes yes. How are you getting it? Yes. It's just that Microsoft one is the default. How are you getting it? But it now depends on the industry. The Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark is the default, is the standard one. But PCI and DSS is more of credit card. So the default is different. It now depends on the industry your company belongs to. Are you getting it? So in some environments, you can have more than one. So can they overlap? It's possible. Yes. But I've not taken time to look at them because, okay, let's look at it together. MCA, now this one is 730. This is 730. So let's look at this one. This one is 730. So this is PCI. So it's possible they overlap. I get it. It's possible they overlap. I too have thought about it, but regulatory, regulatory, yeah. But there will still be some differences. That default one is 730. I get it. This is it. So let me check PCI. I don't know how many is inside PCI. PCI. You can see this is here. This is 2018. This is 4.01. This is version 4. I would say I think this one should be. So the only thing you can compare is it's possible that they have one of them might have the same similarities, but like this one, recovery services, just use private link. You should be able to see it here. It's trusted storage account. So it is possible. Yes, I will not doubt it. But it's just that Microsoft Home is a default. Either it is too simple that everyone has to, or too complex that we don't know what to ask. So it is possible. I get in it. But because the industry your company belongs to, there is Microsoft Home, which is default. And the industry your company belongs to, that probably they are into, if you're into healthcare, is a different one. If you're into credit card, is any. So they need to also make sure that they are being compliant. And even Microsoft itself, because there are sometimes people always ask questions like, all this certification, can we even get to reports about it? You yourself as a customer, you can ask Microsoft, this is servicetrust.microsoft.com, certification, regulation, and standards. So this Microsoft also do have all this them running, because there are sometimes customer will reply like, I want to have this kind of reports, and most of the time they update it regularly. Like this one is SOC. I think this one should be either last month. So Microsoft also do have all this, and to show you, some customers request for this and download it and attach it when they are doing auditing, or probably they are pushing for project, or the government is asking some question. You can see. So most of them are June. So Microsoft do too. They're also compliant. Not only you, as they are enforcing it on you, they too, they're also doing their own parts on their own part. So either it is too simple. I will go over the recording on YouTube and take parties when we get our council advisor to check additional resources. Yes. So this you can see this is payment card industry, PCI data. So this is also the reports for Microsoft on. So they update it, I think quarterly or every 3 months. For you to know that they are also following all these regulatory compliance certifications that they are telling people to do.
Mr. Ajala, please, we have two hands raised up. Before
Okay.
that, I want to quickly address Paddy's comments. So, for the additional resources, I do not know how active you are on WhatsApp, but I know that Mr. Emmanuel shared the URLs for Microsoft official study guide for the modules that we covered today. So if you missed it, I will probably send it again, but it was sent earlier this week, so that's another resource you can try out. And today, the area of focus today was majorly governance, and governance is not as complicated as other technical, will I say, topics we've discussed. So if that is still complex, we probably need to revisit the playlist. Yeah,
Sure.
I just wanted to address what you mentioned. And then Ozioma, yeah, your hand is up. I was wondering if I was not going to hear your voice today.
I have. Probably this could be the second time I'll be asking a question. Thank you so much. It's not really a question, it's a plea to what Mr. Oluwatosin promised last week
Okay.
in the first section, where he said he will make available the guide. They enable us catch up with those practicals he had with us last week.
Okay.
I think he dropped it on
Don't know if
the
you
in the
can,
chat
don't know
box.
if you can remember. I
Yes,
didn't
I
see
dropped.
it.
Okay.
He
That's
dropped
okay.
the URL in the chat box last week before we left.
Okay.
Okay. This
Yeah.
is okay. I'm dropping it again. I get it.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Please, sir, can you help us just send it on WhatsApp? Because I immediately the call is over, I guess they wouldn't
sorry.
be able to see it. So maybe that's the reason why he missed it.
Okay, I'm doing that.
All right, thank you so much.
All right.
This
Thank
one
you.
is
Thank you so much.
for the lab.
Gary.
We'll do the lab next week, I guess. Since it's what do you call it, is A and B part. I just like let me just explain so that by the time we are doing the lab, we will not get confused with it.
Okay.
But like what Susan said, Azure policy is straightforward. I get it. Once you're able to, once you are getting any error, just to understand where is the error coming from. I get it. Where is the error coming from? Once you can be able to identify it, you can maneuver your way. But most environments focuses more on the Azure policy than go and check it in the vendor for portal page. I get it. So that's one thing about it. I think we have another question.
Yes, please, Jerry.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, sir, for your time. I think mine is not pretty much a question, but just also a contribution on the question the person asked on overlapping of requirements from different standards and frameworks. So I think for guys in your team or probably you yourself, there's what we call the common control frameworks, where you are looking at the requirement across different frameworks or regulator. So for the one that Mr. Oluwatosin has shown us today, there are some. So for instance, if you are working in Nigeria and then you still have NDPC regulations, you still have some other regulations, say CBN regulations that you need to also ensure that your environment aligns with, is for your GRC team to now understand that when you implement access control across your function, ensure that those things are speaking to all the requirements. For example, if you check ISO 27001, PCI DSS, all of them are access control. All of them are data processing. All of them are technical controls. So it is that you're using one requirement to answer different questions for this regulator, so that when your external auditor comes, when anybody is reviewing your environment, that you are able to point them to one implementation that answers to everything. So what your compliance or GRC team can do for you is to be able to map all these controls together, give you a common control frameworks that you now embed into your system, such that one implementation captures everything. And that's just my feedback. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Yeah, you're correct. Because there's no way they're not going to overlap by getting it. And like what he said, most of the time, it's always done by all these audit firm, either EY, PwC. Those are the two popular I'm familiar with. And like what he said, they will do a documentation, check everything. So it's not in most you have everything enabled. That's why you can have custom. I get it, but most of the time I've not seen most of the I'm familiar with. You don't do custom, you just pick one that aligns with everything they are doing. I get it. And once the auditor comes in, they check. The one that you are not compliant with it, they document it. They send a report to the management. They give feedback, what needs to be done, and tell you when they are coming back again to come and check. So thank you, the last speaker. Any other question?
Oh, I didn't realize I was speaking on mute. Thank you, Dari. Do we have any more questions? Does anyone want to tell us? Okay, it's already 6, but does anyone want to tell us their key takeaway from today, just to ensure that we really got something from today's class? Something new you learned? Nobody.
Everybody is shy. Is it the weather?
Okay. All right. So, as always, thank you so much.
Okay,
Okay,
Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway here is that a global admin can elevate his role to have a user administrator role. Okay, in order to be able to manage all the resources on the subscription. I think that's it's very interesting. I never knew there's a
global. Sorry, please take that again. A global
admin. A global admin on a directory can toggle on access management for all Azure resources in order to have elevated.
Okay, I thought you said user. I thought you said user administration. I was wondering why. Okay, but I get you now.
Please don't try it. So most of the environments, they will not give you global admin. I get it.
No, it's just saying honest. That someone who's a global admin can do this. Yeah, but don't try it at home.
Let's ask you. Okay, but for the lab, we'll do it next week. I get it. It's not that long. It's not that complex. You know, we use GUI for for the policy. This time around, we're going to use PowerShell to see the other way of the Azure policy using PowerShell. Then talk about RBAC. Then we call it a day.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ajala, thank you again for your time. We really do appreciate. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes of our time to just address certain things. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who filled the feedback form and gave us their feedback. That was really, really eye-opening and very, very appreciated. So a couple of themes were repeated or came up a couple of times, and I will be addressing quite a number of them. So top on the list is people requesting that the training be beginner friendly. I am really sorry, but there is no way we can help you with that. This course is an intermediate level course. It is not a beginner level course. But then there are beginner level trainings available on YouTube that would give you a background of everything we're talking about today. If you have the time, please check out the training on SE 900 on our YouTube channel. I think I'll drop it on the WhatsApp group so that you can easily find the playlist. Watch the video. It covers all of this in a very, very granular level. So when you come to class and you hear certain concepts, do not expect that we'll go very in depth to explain that concept, because first of all, the trainer or the mentor is working with a specific time allotted to them, and they also have the assumption, rightfully so, that basic concepts are already is already understood by everyone on the call. So please bear that in mind. There was also requests for supporting learning resources. For the learning resource, Microsoft's official study guide is available. Links for this particular session was shared on WhatsApp. I would probably look for it and highlight it again so people can see it. Then for the lab environment, please be patient with us. We are working on that and we should close it out very soon. But as soon as we get access to the lab environment, you people will be the first to see it or to find out. Then at the beginning of class, our mentor asked for people who had questions about the previous class, and quite a number of us had questions, which was very, very amazing. But then it got me thinking, why then is WhatsApp mostly quiet? We have the WhatsApp group for a reason. So please remember, we are working with a particular time frame. So if we are asking questions that we could have asked on WhatsApp, it is taken away from the time that our mentor could use to explain the topic for the day in greater detail. So please feel free to send messages on WhatsApp. If you want a specific person to answer the question, you can tag them. Our mentors are more than willing to support in any and every way they can. So please make good use of WhatsApp, ask questions there so that when we are here, we are able to quickly go into the business of the day and we're able to cover more things. Yeah, so there were also some comments about improvements, but using the phrase improvement or improve classes is a little bit vague. So if you may, please give us more details. When you say improvements, what exactly do you want to be improved? I'm not saying we would increase the training time, but if you want, 2 hours is too short, can we do 3 hours? Do you understand? That is more specific. If we get a good number of such requests, then we'll go back to the drawing board and we'll be able to come up better plans or better ways to support you people. So please, when you're giving feedback, kindly be as specific as you can. That will be all from me for today. Please do not forget to fill the attendance. It is pinned in the chat box. Please do not forget to do that. So fill the attendance, give us feedback. If there are questions you want to ask, remember you can always ask on WhatsApp. If you have specific concerns, drop them in the feedback form. We go through them, and they're really helpful so that the next class is better than the previous class. Yeah, I guess that is all for me for today. Do have an amazing weekend. No, sorry, before we go, Mr. Emmanuel Oyimafu, please, do you have anything to add?
Oh, good evening. Yeah, it has been an amazing section, and that's all. Nothing from my end. Thank you.
Okay, great. And all right, I would reshare the attendance form now. Yeah, I was going to mention, please, if it's possible to join the classes or the sessions on a device, on laptop, rather than joining with a phone, please try to do that. That way you are able to see what the mentors are showing on their screen and you're able to follow through what they are doing. But when you are using your phone, the fonts are even smaller than they originally will be or normally would be when you use a laptop. I think that should be very helpful. So yeah, I have posted the attendance again on the group. So please, let's take our time to do that. I think I will give us 1 minute. If no one has anything else to add, at 6:11, I would end the call. That's strange. How then do you have the link for today's class if you aren't on the WhatsApp group? If people are sharing the WhatsApp link, people are sharing the meeting link to the family and friends without having them register. Oyimafu, please, can we share the WhatsApp link or we can't do that anymore?
Yeah, for the WhatsApp link, if anybody wants to join the bootcamp, so what the person just needs to do is to watch all the recordings that we have like sent to the YouTube channel. They should watch all the recording, then do the assignment. So once they do the assignment, they send us evidence, then definitely we will add them to the WhatsApp group chat.
Okay. I'm just wondering, how do they send us the evidence? Via LinkedIn? Do they have anybody's contact on WhatsApp?
They can just send it to us via LinkedIn that they have done the assignment. Maybe you or myself or Manuel Tuje, any of us.
Okay. All right. So to be added to the WhatsApp group, kindly watch the first YouTube video. Let me see if I can find the URL so that it's easier for. Okay, so please watch this video. Do the assignment or do the tasks that are requested that we do, and then when you are done with that, you can reach out to myself, Susan Onyekachi-Lawal on LinkedIn, or Emmanuel Oyimafu on LinkedIn with evidence. That is probably network. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. So yeah, I was saying when you reach out to us with evidence on LinkedIn, then we'll be able to send you the link to WhatsApp or add you to the WhatsApp group. For the attendance not loading properly on your end, it's probably network because it is loading properly or fully on my end. Maybe try a different browser or try to reload it. Please, anything else? Questions, inquiries, suggestions before we round off? Let's say we have 2 more minutes. I'm trying to buy us time to also fill the attendance form before we leave. So if you wouldn't say you didn't see it. Oh, okay, let me try loading it again to see if there's any issues. But I guess network is just bad today. It's loading fully. It's loading properly on my end. I guess it's just network. Sorry about that. If you're on WhatsApp, I would also drop the link on WhatsApp. Let me do that now so I don't forget. So that after the class ends, you can still try it out and fill the attendance. Okay, so I've sent it on WhatsApp. If you are not able to load it from here, you can try again later. Can you see today's dates, even if you can't see the instructor's name? Or would it help if I just provide that information so you can fill it? Just a moment.